Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. Let's get started. I'm going to be using Magenta Madness, Granny Apple Green. Both of those are Stampin' Up colors, Versamark ink. Bring in my box here. I have a it's a 1/2 inch by approximately 3-inch strip of black. I have a scrap of white. I have a 3.5 by 4 3/4 inch piece of Designer Series paper. It's the In Color 2022 In Color. This is Magenta Madness. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white, which I've run through the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. I have my card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, let's put these ones aside for a minute. Leave this out. For stamps, I'm using Butterfly Wishes. I'm using this stamp and this stamp from Butterfly Wishes. And I'm using Sentiment, You Mean So Much to Me from Forever Blossoms. Okay, I'm also using Stampin' Up large letter framelit dies. These are retired, but I really wanted to use this size of a die. So I'm using these to cut out the X and the O out of this paper here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, got those. My dies away so I don't lose them. On another little scratch of white, or it's actually part of that I cut off of, I'm going to stamp my flowers. So I'm going to use Magenta Madness. I'm just going to stamp one of these flowers. And then I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to stamp 3 leaves. Okay. Now these need to be cut out. They need to be fussy cut out because there's no dies for this set. It's really an easy cutting out. You're just gonna leave yourself a little bit of space. Okay. And for the flower, just leave yourself a little bit of a margin around it. I'm having trouble. These are my right scissors. I'm thinking, why does it feel so clumsy? I must already have my Stampin' Up scissors out. Here they are. It's like, okay. Those ones are much thicker. I'll show you just a second. This works much better. These blades are much finer and much sharper. So it makes it much easier to fussy cut. Get much better control. I'm also going to be using my heat tool because I'm using white embossing powder. It's an ultra fine white embossing powder, and this time I'm using a Gina K embossing powder because I don't have any Stampin' Up, but I'm deciding I need to start using what I have so it's not just sitting there. I hope you don't mind, but I can't really afford to buy everything Stampin' Up because I'm not working except making these videos, and I don't make any money at it. And my husband is just back to work from being out for 2 months with heart attack, so we've got to be a little frugal for a while. Okay, so I got those cut out. Now I need to stamp my sentiment with Versamark ink. On this black strip. Oh, I wanted to use the embossing buddy because, especially on black, white embossing powder can be quite messy. Stamp that right in the center here. Okay. I'm going to bring in my embossing powder. And this has some other embossing powder in it, so let's get a clean one so I don't contaminate my white powder. That looks pretty good. Look it off. Oh, there's a little bit of something on there. Let's see if I can get a paintbrush in here. Just a couple lot more little flakes here. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'll put this away and then I'll heat emboss that. I have a cutting board here, it protects my work surface. Alright, now we have everything we need. Let's go ahead and assemble this card. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is mount this piece of Designer Series paper onto the 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white that I've embossed. Make sure the words are going right side up. And there's a 1/4 inch all the way around the edges, because this is 1/2 inch smaller than the white piece. Because I wanted to make sure I saw quite a bit of the paper below it that I embossed. Okay, then we'll go ahead and mount this to the front of our card. And this This is going to have an 1/8 of an inch border. Okay, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. I think I'm going to bring in the little ones just because I know they're going to fit. I always use more than I need, I know that. Take the backs off of those and get it ready. I'm not going to put it on yet. I'm going to put those letters on underneath it. Okay, so set that up here. Now the XO is going to go here. We're just going to glue it on with glue. Just a little bit on the back. And I'm using one of the lines on the script to help me level it. Okay, I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of my flower. Oops, I'm using these ones. I had some already cut out because I had them in my stash. So that one's going to go here. Which way do we want it? Like that. Okay, then we've got 3 little leaves here. Go ahead and put those little dimensionals on the back of them. Tuck them around underneath. Alright, now we're going to tuck this right across like that. There we go, and then to finish it off, I've got one of those little black gems because I had them sitting on my desk from the other day. You could use a diamond, a jewel in the center, a diamond. There you go, there's a card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you so much for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.